Good evening and welcome to my little YouTube channel. During this video, I will show you the technique of using rock salt with Brusho. This piece of multifarious cardstock is a 5-inch strip cut from an A4 sheet. 330 GSM. I spritzed the card until it was very wet and then applied Brusho in a random fashion. The colours that I used in this particular piece are white, turquoise, ultramarine, crimson and purple. Once all the colour is applied, I give the card another spritz to help the brush will move a little more. Once I've done this, I then add a generous sprinkling of rock salt. Before setting this aside to dry. Here are some backgrounds that you may have seen already. I made them yesterday. Unfortunately, due to the washi tape being on them, one of them was accidentally damaged. I still use this piece though, I just have to trim it down before using it. These still have the rock salt on them. Using a pouch that I would normally set a card in when sending to someone who's purchased it. I shake off and then rub the rock salt off of the card into the bag. Partially to save mess, but also because you can save the rock salt for a future use. The colours that were used on these backgrounds, same technique, but the colours are white, sunburst, lemon, gamboge and crimson. I only show me taking the rock salt off of one of these backgrounds as I didn't want to bore you all with taking them off of all of them. Just love the texture that these give. As you can see there, lovely coloured rock salt. Not to be mistaken for Himalayan rock salt, which is pink. I then trimmed this piece of cardstock. To leave just a little white border around it. I did leave quite a bit of a white border up at the top and bottom of this, however I do take that out a little bit later, but you don't see that as I didn't realise that I had stopped recording. I went to move the camera and must have hit the stop button. So here I am inking Medeela, the small version, with Nocturne. Medeela is one of the stamps due to be launched on the website on the 22nd of August 2019. And I think you'll agree they're very, very lovely stamps. Just after I'd inked up, I remembered that I was going to use a stencil by All & Create. This one is called Broken Circle, and it's designed by Auteur de Moi. Apologies if I haven't pronounced that correctly. Beautiful stamp, stencil even, I should say. So I ink up a smoothie with some Versafine Clair Monarch, and use this to apply the colour through the stencil. Once done this, re-ink the stamp, Medeela, with the Nocturne, and place Medeela just over the centre of where the stencil is blank on the middle, just over the sort of sun area. Unfortunately, a little bit of the tail hadn't inked. However, you will see that I fix this in a moment with a Uniball fine liner pen. I think there had been a little bit of salt left on the card and it had attached itself to the stamp, which is why it hadn't inked fully. Then taking the Celestial Tree stamp, also by Lavinia Stamps, I ink up with Versafine Clair Fallen Leaves, and Nocturne obviously is what I used for Medeela. This almost looks black, as you'll see in a moment when I stamp it onto the copy paper. I actually thought for a moment that I had mixed my ink pads up, however it is just a very dark brown. So re-ink that and then decide where I'm going to stamp it. Again, applying firm pressure and allowing the ink to soak in before lifting. Love how you can stamp off the page partially and you don't have to use the whole of the stamp every time that you stamp. And just before applying this again, I noticed there was a little bit of salt on the card where I was going to be using it, so I had to rub that off before applying to the card. I then decided to use my Monarch and smooth to go around the edges. Before I do this, I then realised I needed a piece of scrap paper, as my little guard had gone missing, so I had to make a new one. And all this is a piece of scrap paper with some removable tape on one side, which then allows you to pick the piece of paper up and use it to protect your card as you go around. Wouldn't be the first time that I had gotten ink all over one of my cards and had to start again. It was a tad annoying, but you soon learn quickly. As you'll see, there's quite a bit of Monarch at the top of this and the bottom of it once it's done. I do trim this down again before actually putting the card together. It's just unfortunate that I hadn't realised that the recording had stopped. I love how just putting a little bit of a border of another colour around it draws your eye right into the middle of the picture. So now that this is done, I take my little circle of acetate and position it. I then thought I may have wanted a bigger one, however the bigger one was far too big. So I went back to the original size that I was going to use. I'm using the Monarch without having to take any more ink from the pad. Just working from the centre of the acetate out towards the edge of the acetate and beyond. Just create a halo where the sun would be. But only inking up to each part of the dragon that comes through the circle, so to make sure that it stayed in front of the halo and not behind it. I love how these colours just look like a fiery sky. Once this has been done, I then take a white gel pen by Sakura. This one is size 8, so 08, and add some highlights to the dragon. Each time I add some white ink, I also then smudge it. This softens the look, as the white can sometimes be a little harsh. Please feel free to add any comments you like. Let me know if there's anything that you guys would like to see or how often you would like to see more videos. And if I'm able to, obviously I will be able to do it. But I will certainly at least make sure that I definitely answer every comment that's put on there. Also, if you would like to subscribe to see any other future videos that I do, please hit the subscribe button, and if you want notifications of when my new videos come out, obviously make sure that you hit the notification bell. All likes, comments and shares are very much appreciated. Once I put the highlights on, I then went on to a clear sparkle pen, again by Sakura, Jelly Roll. Only the pen wasn't working to start with, so I had to bin that one and find my other one. So there was a bit of a gap between starting the outline round the sun, moon, whichever you want to call it. To me it's either a fiery sun or red sky at night, I suppose, reflecting on the moon, you could say. It's all in the way you perceive it, I suppose. I absolutely love how the dragons just lend themselves to these types of backgrounds. I can't wait to see everybody else's makes with these stamps once they've launched. And just remember that we are on Hochanda on the same day that these stamps launch on the website, so the 22nd of August. I think the times of the Hochanda show are 10 AM and 3 PM, where the lovely Joe Rice will be demonstrating with some other new stamps, which I'll be posting some pictures of my samples from tomorrow. Well, here you see me having a quick look at the card just before I go to move the camera, only didn't realise I had pressed stop. So here are the other backgrounds and then other cards that I made. I also went round the edge of these with some black Versafine Clair, and this is the one that was the damaged one. I used it to stamp the verse, the dragon verse. I hope you've enjoyed the video. As I say, please feel free to subscribe, comment and share. Thank you.